Hello, everyone. So, decoding animal welfare labels on food packaging is something I've wanted to dive into for ages. As a start, I decided that the best way to show you is to actually tier rank all the welfare labels that we see on food products in British supermarkets and share what they actually mean and translate to in reality for the animals. We see all sorts of different labels on food packaging, and honestly, if you're not exactly sure what those things mean specifically, you're not alone. And often it just feels like they kind of blend into like a thinly veiled marketing ploy just to get us to buy more things. Here in the UK, we actually have quite robust standards when it comes to printing labels on the food that we eat. But that doesn't always mean it's as rosy as it's made out to be. There are still wild variations to what we as consumers would actually consider acceptable if we saw them in real life. Right, let's start with some basics, shall we? 100% British. If you see a Union flag on the label of an animal based product, it means that the animal was born, raised, and slaughtered here in the UK. If you see in the small print slaughtered or minced in the UK, those animals would have been born and reared outside the UK. And unless it tells you EU or Ireland, we don't actually really know where that's come from. Now, the UK has world leading animal welfare standards. It doesn't really guarantee things like quality assurance with housing, responsible antibiotic use, or slaughter regulations. I'm going to put this into the E tier for now for reasons that are still to be explained. Moving on though, this is going to be one that many of you are going to quickly recognize on a lot of fresh meat and egg packaging, and that is the RSPCA Assured label. This covers all types of fresh meat, dairy, and egg products, and although I wouldn't say it's S tier for animal welfare standards, this gets a solid A+ tier rating. And here is why. The RSPCA Assured scheme is the only label that's purely created for animal welfare that's accessible across most major UK supermarkets. It's highly regulated, meaning that they dedicate huge resources to in-person, on-farm inspections, making sure that the farmers stick to the standards that the RSPCA set, which are always evidence-based and developing with new science. When you buy an RSPCA assured product, they're really working to ensure the following: that no animals were born or reared in cages or crates. It's not an outside bred guarantee, though, that the animals have more space than the legal requirements, and that they're given a physically and mentally enriching environment. Also, that the farmers are supposed to use antibiotics responsibly only when an animal is sick or injured, transport times are kept to a minimum, and importantly, that slaughter is strictly monitored for humaneness. This gets extra bonus points really mainly because it's animal welfare specific and it's widely available to us. So you can't really go wrong with purchasing these products. So A tier, big tick, you're going to stay there. Thank you. All right. Another even more prominent label that you'll see virtually everywhere when you look for it is the Red Tractor Certified Standards label. It's Britain's largest food assurance scheme, covering about 75% of UK agriculture. The aim of this not-for-profit is to reassure consumers that food and drink in the UK is safe and responsibly produced, which came about in the wake of foot and mouth and salmonella outbreaks in the early 2000s to restore the reputation of British farming.
Environmental health and trading standards officers have all been ordered to be more vigilant than ever, but policing foot and mouth means the system's under strain.
The checks people probably imagine are being done simply are not being done.
The animal welfare standards set an in-depth industry benchmark, as well as offering training and resources to farmers to help them meet this. I didn't say it was a high benchmark, as these standards still include the use of things like electric goads for moving certain animals, and very sketchy language around the competency of workers for animal handling, transport and slaughter, which present huge opportunities for poor welfare. They've recently improved their welfare standards, and it still takes a lot of work, a lot of paperwork as well, to qualify for Red Tractor. But this label helps set the UK above the rest of the world for its animal welfare standards. But in comparison with other UK labels, this is going into the D tier, I'm afraid. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about this topic, I'm actually making a series of videos that dive deeper into looking at each different supermarket, what their policies are for improving animal welfare in their supply chains, and picking out any questionable bits that their guidelines gloss over. If that sounds good to you, click subscribe and that little notification bell so you know when the next one drops. Anywho, bit of a sidebar is the in-house animal welfare label system that Waitrose uses. The first for animal welfare stickers across all of their own brand products, including processed and frozen ones, represent standards that they've set through consultation with world-leading animal welfare scientists and welfare assessment officers, including those that are part of the RSPCA Assurance scheme. Similarly, these standards cover the animals from birth to slaughter, But because it's one supermarket, they have a clear oversight over fewer farms than the RSPCA and long-standing relationships with farmers and producers that span decades. They've also invested millions in paying UK farmers fairer prices for their animals to ensure that they can maintain those high standards of welfare, especially in a post-Brexit farming economy. I choose to buy my animal products almost exclusively from Waitrose because of these welfare assurances and this transparency. So maybe I'm slightly biased, but I'm sticking you in the S tier. For a lot of people who actually shop at Waitrose, this is one of the main reasons why they actually do it. Right. British Lion. Let's talk about eggs. If you're an egg eater, you'll be most familiar with this label. It's almost a guaranteed nationwide scheme that shows that the eggs come from hens vaccinated against salmonella and produced within legal UK guidelines. It doesn't guarantee good welfare for chickens at all, though, and although the label system is explained on your egg box, it only tells you where the eggs have come from and that they're safe to eat, not that they come from happy chickens. So this is going 100% on the bottom tier because it has absolutely nothing to do with animal welfare. If you thought it couldn't get much better than the RSPCA Assured label or the Waitrose one, I think again. The Soil Association Organic label is up there as one of the best welfare labels we can access in UK supermarkets. It features lengthy and in-depth criteria, such as free-range access to pasture all year round, tightly regulated antibiotic use, pain relief during veterinary procedures, proper organic livestock feed, soil management plans, etc., within the numerous 100 to 200 page documents that I scoured through so you guys don't have to do that. It's available as part of a few supermarkets' premium/organic label products. So naturally, it does come with a higher price tag, but if it's something that your budget can stretch to occasionally, especially if you eat meat less often but pitch for the better quality, you're absolutely doing something that supports great animal welfare standards. So this guy is going into the S tier, up at the top. We like this very much. The labels I've talked about here are the most common official certifications used on food packaging in the UK. You'll notice some gaps on my tier list. And this is deliberate because I was going to include the non-official labels that we see all the time for pigs and free-range products, but I actually decided that these terms needed their own videos, so I'll be exploring them with you guys in the next one. Like I said before, hit subscribe and that bell if you want to see more of this, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.